Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another video from Any News, and he started doing content videos for Season 3 of DanMachi, which is awesome, because I'm really enjoying Season 3 of DanMachi. It's cool, and we've got a little monster girl thing called Wiener. Do you know what? It's Wiener, isn't it? But like, I thought there was like some sort of stupid joke thing where they were calling her a Wiener. I was like, so what? But no, it's Wiener, and we're going to see what the anime changed from the original source material. Like most cut content videos, I really enjoy these, and I like that it's like recent stuff that I'm watching. It sounds so cool.
DanMachi is a show that takes quite a few liberties with the way that it adapts the novel.
Oh, okay.
There are often quite a few scenes that get left out per episode. Sometimes even entire subplots.
Yeah, we covered that in the
what
to know before Season 3, which is cool.
So this weekly cut content series will go through exactly what the anime didn't include from the novels.
Sweet.
Then once I catch up to where the anime is currently at,
alright, monsters that could talk.
Until then, be sure to subscribe so you can get notifications of when I upload them.
Sweet.
Now, let's begin. Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Covering chapters 1 to 2 of Volume 9 of the light novel. Before the opening scenes that we see in the anime, there was first a prologue that gave backstory to Rine's earliest memories.
Yeah?
We find out that she was born in an area of the dungeon that not a single adventurer had ever set foot in.
Oof.
But not born in a way that you or I typically understand.
Oh.
Rine's birth was more of an awakening.
Oh.
Her existence was one that came...
Yeah, because she cracked out of that at the end of the Season 2, didn't she?
Her earliest memory was the action of breaking from the wall and falling to the floor.
Yeah.
It was after this that her instincts led her to wander around the dungeon in search for her own kind. But everything she encountered seemed to reject her.
It's like, kill it!
When Wiener
Kill it
tried
with
to
fire!
ask the creatures where she would only ever be met with violence. It was while running away from these monsters that she just so happened to stumble upon a group of adventurers. When she tried to
and they want to kill it.
Help, they too reacted in very much the same way.
Yes.
So,
kill it with fire!
Had only just been born, she couldn't understand why this was happening. She didn't even
why does everyone want to kill me?
The only things that she could understand were the feelings of despair,
oh, she just knew bad stuff. Grim.
Bringing us to the initial scenes from the anime where she was being chased by the adventurers. This was the end of the prologue.
And then she runs into Belle.
Moving on to chapter 1.
Belle, not Bam. Jesus. Oh my god.
Allowing Belle and the others to resume their activities in the dungeon. As soon as they got to the town on the 18th floor, Belle was asked to assist with the handling of what's called irregulars. This was the term used to
Tower of God.
outbreak of monsters. In this
Isn't that weird?
Outbreak of firebirds.
Whoa.
They were currently
right.
swarming in hordes throughout the
So they've gone there to actually exterminate these birds, which what was
right.
okay.
Reasons posed a threat that no adventurer could simply ignore.
Hmm.
So that's why Belle's group was asked to help. In exchange, every person was paid in advance with robes made from burn-resistant salamander wool.
Oh.
Now, because Belle's agility was so high, he was partnered
like
up
most
with
of his other stats.
Group of adventurers so that he could assist with scouting. But since this was a floor that Belle was completely unfamiliar with, the moment the group started moving at full speed, he immediately got left behind.
Right, he's like, where's everyone going? Oh, so that's why he was by himself when he ran into... Right. Cool.
At first he believed this hobbling figure to be an injured adventurer, but the closer he got, the more monstrous she appeared. Yeah. Eventually seeing Wiener for the Weaver that it was.
Wiener.
A Weaver was one of the rarest monsters in the dungeon, typically only ever appearing in the 19th and 24th floors.
24th, Jesus.
It was a species of dragon well known for its unmatched physical strength,
whoa.
making it quite valuable for its...
Oh yeah, when she accidentally scratched him, it's like, oh...
That said, the most valuable part of the Weaver was by far the red gem set in its forehead.
Oh.
An item that's typically known as the Weaver's Tear, but also gained the nickname of the Prosperity Stone.
Prosperity Stone? What does it do?
The problem, though, was trying to obtain it. Slaying the monster would only result in the stone shattering.
Oh.
And extracting it while the monster was still alive would only make it go berserk. Numerous adventurers had tried
what's
to
it do?
in the past, but many only ended up being shredded to pieces by the resulting rage.
Oh, jeez.
That made it a very dangerous monster to approach. But something about this one seemed to be different. For starters, it didn't have the typical appearance. I mean, usually Weavers had a snake-like lower body and a dragon's tail. But this one only had thin human-like legs.
Very human-esque.
It made Belle think that perhaps this wasn't a monster at all. The part of him that was taught to never trust a monster was now battling with the part of him that wanted to rescue this
it's like, ooh, no, I've got to save a little girl.
What the best action was to take. Bell actually began to just walk away. His initial conclusion was to act like he never saw anything at all. But his back didn't stay turned for long, since that was when the
Firebird!
leading
Got a fire!
in a way that even he himself couldn't understand. He found that he couldn't kill her and he couldn't leave her behind. So that meant he could only take her
Torn between a rock and a monster.
But first he
And a
decided
tree.
to treat her with
Yeah, that.
One thing to note about potions is that there's a specific way that you need to apply them in order for them to work properly.
Right.
Simple flesh
Splash on the face.
simple, but fixing broken bones needed some initial preparation. If the potion was applied before the bone was placed back into its proper position, then the restorative effects would heal the bone at an improper angle, often causing permanent damage in the process.
Nasty.
Because this was something
That'd be a good way of torturing someone. Ugh.
Decided not to attempt to heal Wiener's leg.
Healing them with the bone in the wrong place.
So he could support her as they tried to find a way back to the others. Remember, Bell was still lost in this labyrinth. So he needed to find a way back to the main path in order to make use of the map that Lily had given him. It was as he did that Bell finally realized that he was letting his guard down with a monster. He still didn't know why he was doing it, but he did wonder if it was perhaps because of her
Probably
appearance.
because of looking like Wiener, yeah.
This time he went a bit too far when it came to the prospect of saving a damsel in distress. But that was a mindset that slowly began to sway when this dragon girl managed to muster out a thank you, all while presenting Bell with a warm and gentle smile. This was the very moment in which Bell knew that he had to protect this girl. If she could put on a smile that was just like everyone else's, then that was something that Bell felt was worth protecting.
That was class when he smashed that
Little
monster in the face, like, ah!
Eventually, Bell reached
That's
the
from
main
episode
route
3,
that guided him
I
back to the 18th floor. He left Wiener in a deep part of the forest, then went to find the others and tell them what happened. One thing to note about this whole interaction was that the term monster fetish wasn't just some on-the-spot insult.
No.
It was a common term used to describe those who feel an abnormal attraction towards anthropomorphic monsters like harpies or lamias.
Oh.
Not only that, but it was also one of the worst things to be called within Aurario.
Really?
People hated those with a monster fetish almost as much as they hated the monsters themselves.
Right, I suppose it makes sense. If they see them as such a threat, it's like, ugh.
The hatred between those two species were. Now, unlike in the anime, Lily was actually the last person to lower her guard. Everyone else had already accepted that Wiener wasn't currently
Right, that is different.
Lily continued to reject what Bell was proposing.
Because in the anime, she seems very much like, okay, that's what Bell wants. Cool, cool.
Saw a reflection of her former self that she decided to let Bell do what he wanted.
Right.
It's not like she was happy with the current situation, but she also wasn't going to just sit around and do nothing either. So Lily had everyone wait till nighttime, then discreetly guided them back to the surface. The only people who saw them leave was Vels and Bonanos. It was during their ensuing conversation that there was actually a little bit of skipped foreshadowing.
Oh.
Bonanos had mentioned that there was no connection between the Hestia Familia and the hunters that they were pursuing, implying that he himself was in search of the Familia responsible for taking monsters captive.
Ah.
Now, before we get to the Hestia mansion, they first showed a couple of the events.
So he wants to know who's actually hunting them down. Right, that's interesting.
Wiener was shocked to see how vibrant and alive it was in comparison to the dungeon. So much so that they had to calm her down before going any further. Then, once they reached their home, Lily had to go ahead first in order to dismiss the Miyok Familia from their posts. Remember, because Hestia's mansion was so big, that made it a prime target to be looted while everyone was gone.
Oh, true, actually,
especially
yes.
when everyone was in the dungeon.
No one's there.
Yeah. Would hire either Takamakazuchi or Familia to keep watch over their home.
There you go.
And this time it just so happened to be Miyok and his new followers of Daphne and Cassandra.
Cool.
Had it been Takamakazuchi, then maybe they would have shared their secret. But because Naza didn't have a very fond past with monsters, everyone felt it would just be best to exclude them.
Right.
After Hestia met Wiener and accepted Belle's decision for what it was, that's when we get to the topic of Wiener's name. Belle's
Yeah, like, what is this? Come on.
suggestion of
Come on.
Melusine was one that came from a story that he had liked ever since he was young.
Oh.
It was a story about a fairy named Melusine
Oh.
the hero who saved her life. In order to get closer to this hero, the fairy then tried to disguise her existence and live among the humans.
Okay,
But
interesting
one
story.
day the hero had
Very
discovered her true nature,
close to
causing
this,
them
yeah.
to go their separate ways. It was only in the end that they finally reunited in order to slay a dragon that was threatening the hero's home. So, due to the relevant nature of this story, Bell thought it would be fitting to combine
It's very
Melusine
fizzy, isn't it? It's on the
thus
nose.
resulting in his suggestion. In any case, it was after this that we got a more in-depth look into how everyone was feeling. For Bell, the entire foundation that supported the preconceived animosity between man and monster had crumbled entirely. For everyone else, though, they weren't yet able to come to any sort of conclusion.
Hmm.
In fact, they were so unsure about this monster being in their home that when Wiener had fallen asleep on Belle's lap, they didn't allow her to spend the night alone with him.
Okay, that's different again.
Leaving Belle with Wiener in the common area. Then, one by one, each person came back and either claimed a spot on the sofa or the floor.
So there's always someone watching.
It's not that they wanted to have a sleepover or didn't trust Belle to behave well with this girl. It was simply because they didn't trust her.
Yeah.
Welf was leaned up against the wall with his greatsword on his lap.
Makes
Mikoto
sense.
was on the futon next to Haruhi.
Wow, so everyone's proper, like,
Then Lily had
just
fallen
defending
asleep on the
Belle,
floor
man.
with a very firm grip on her bowgun. Each of them except for Belle was prepared for the worst.
Hmm.
Belle, on the
That was
other
too
hand,
nice, man.
thinking something completely different. To him, he felt that if this girl didn't have that red gemstone in her head, then she could very easily pass for a normal person.
Hmm.
It was because of this that all he wanted to know right now was what this girl really was, bringing with it thoughts of a very uncertain future. Now, as we saw, the next day was spent searching for information. The first conversation with Hephaestus can pretty much be summed up to two questions. The first being if she'd ever heard of a monster that could speak, and the second being what she would do if she ever found one.
Oh, right, okay.
Of course, Hephaestus had never heard of these types of monsters before, but she did become...
Yeah, I'm really intrigued where this season's going with all this. It's like, whoa, stuff that even some of the gods don't even know about, and then it's like, but some do know about, and it's like, what's going on?
So that meant only Take and Miyake. That said, she made them promise not to share any information with mortals, no matter how trustworthy they may seem to be. It was just too
Don't
high
always
risk
give
to
them
allow
the
anyone
information.
else to know. Then the rest of the conversation went on pretty much as we saw. Moving on to Welf, his search for information was also very similar. But you're probably wondering why he even went to the guild. Well, as someone who spent a lot of time there before, he knew that important bits of information can be picked up from even the most mundane of conversations. Not to mention that his level up made his sense of hearing a lot
little bit of
already
eavesdropping.
was.
Yeah, man.
So, eavesdropping in the guild
There you go.
was the easiest way to find out if something was going on in the dungeon. Now, as for the place that Lily went to, this was a bar meant for a specific group of people. It was the place to go if you wanted to find information brokers or post a quest
Nice.
anonymously. If you were to consider the guild to be the front, then this bar would definitely be its back. Only those who had something to hide from the guild would ever be here.
Right.
That being the case, the fact that Maddle was here looking for the same information that she was posed a very significant threat to the whole operation. You see, Maddle wasn't just some typical adventurer. She was a person who specialized in being a rogue-like thief, making her very skilled at sneaking around and gaining information.
Following people.
So this wasn't someone that Lily needed suspecting her. That's why she decided to leave right away. Moving on to the scene with
People are always following people in ReZero. In DanMachi. Why did I say ReZero? I'm not really... I've been talking about Tower of God and ReZero today in this one.
Making new discoveries with
Play the
each and
tail.
every day. One thing that Belle began to notice was just how quick it was that Wiener was expanding her vocabulary.
She's learning to talk.
She was using far more words than she was yesterday. Perhaps at the time she had limited herself because she
I can't
was
wait for Yaroshi to start
now
doing
she was talking way more
abridged
fluently.
episodes with this. He's
Because
going
of
to do
how
some
fast
funny
she was
bits with
moving.
Wide and
Belle couldn't quite
Belle with the
attribute it
talker.
to her actually learning. It was almost as if something else was allowing her to pick up and understand these words very quickly.
The
making it
stone.
yet another mystery to add to this monster. When nighttime came around, it was after dinner and all the fan service parts that we got to see individual moments from everyone else.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, there was one very important fact excluded from the bath scenes that needs to be shared.
Okay.
Perhaps even the most important of the episode.
Oh.
Despite what you may have been led to believe, Hestia does not have the biggest chest. And surprisingly, neither does Haruhi.
What?
That prestigious title belongs solely to Mikoto.
Hey.
As for why it is that way all the time,
Why is
well,
that?
that's because her chest is normally bandaged up.
Ah.
Yeah, that was a fact that for some reason was made very clear in this part of the novel. So I...
Oh, okay, so it's not really important. It's funny. I was like, wait, what? Important information from a bath scene?
Individual moments after that we got to see more of how everyone else was feeling.
We actually found out who had the biggest boobs.
Why it was she was so
Why was that cut?
There was something about her that reminded
Outright.
Haruhi of her former self. She reminded her of the person that became alone after having been separated from everyone else when she was younger. This was the person that Haruhime saw whenever she looked at Wiener.
Right.
And it was for that reason that she couldn't abandon her. As for Lily, the essence of what she was saying here was that she was willing to be hated if it meant protecting the But unlike how Welf said nothing in the anime, he actually told
My
her
mustache
to
looks
take
well
over
stupid
the
on
real
camera. I thought it looked
This
cool
was
shaving it
because
down the
Lily's
middle,
face
but I'm
gave
just
off
like,
an area as
ooh, I
bullets
might
were
just shave it
hitting
all
the
off.
stress. Welf knew that this wasn't the face of someone whose words were backed by determination. Even so, he still couldn't deny Lily's last words of Wiener being a monster. That much was an indisputable fact, and it was
Oh,
more
yeah,
than
sure,
enough to show that what Lily was saying
Monster.
wasn't entirely wrong. Now, the last part regarding Wiener's dream actually left out one of the most important aspects to it.
Okay.
As I'm sure you noticed, these were much more than just dreams.
Yeah.
They were more like fragments of memories.
It seemed that way.
The reason I say this is because Wiener began to recall very specific moments regarding different adventurers. She recalled a time when she dreamed of an elf who had shielded her badly injured partner with her own body. There was another time when she'd dream of a dwarf who'd stayed behind to fight a whole passageway of monsters by himself, just so he could buy time to allow the rest of his party to escape.
Right.
It was seeing these people that would cause Wiener to feel cold. But beyond that frigid feeling was one that also saw these people as beautiful. To see others interact in such a loving and supportive manner was something that appealed to her in a way that she simply couldn't understand. So it was after hearing this that Belle couldn't just simply disregard these recollections as dreams. There was now the lingering thought that these could actually
Be
her
memories. Yeah.
Anyway, the last scene with Hermes was supposed to give context to what exactly was happening. To clarify on his involvement, his Familia was one of the only ones trusted to work alongside the guild.
Right.
See, the guild controlled all legal rights to magic
That's interesting.
and to pretty much any other products found in the dungeon. That meant monsters as well. So, since there was this underground organization currently smuggling dungeon-related items,
someone needs to find out what's
the
going
guild
on.
decided to put Hermes in charge.
Yeah, we go. Yeah, Hermes is on
It's
it.
for this reason that his Familia can enter and exit Aurario without any problems.
Right.
The guild trusted them enough to get the job done. That said, the report regarding what Laurier had found was a lot more gruesome than what we were told in the anime. According to her, monsters had been chained to each other in holding cells and repeatedly violated in a way that she couldn't even believe to be possible.
Oh my god.
Just remembering what it was she saw when she found them was enough to make her sick to her stomach. All the monsters she had found were pretty much already dead. But there was one in particular that stuck in her mind especially well. Not only was this one still alive, but it also begged her to deliver an item to one of its comrades.
Oh.
It wanted Laurier to deliver its scarred and ragged horn. This was nothing more than a typical drop item that you could find anywhere in the dungeon. But to this monster it seemed to be
It was
much more
important.
significant.
Yeah. Wow.
So here was this talking monster crying and begging for help. It looked and spoke to Laurier in ways that any other normal person would.
Wow.
And just like how it affected Belle, Laurier was now overwhelmed by a similar sense of confusion.
Yeah, like what's going
Everything she
on?
was led to believe was now flipped on its head. So the only thing that Hermes said after this was that he'd take care of everything from here. As for what was on the scroll, well, that was a list of all the merchant organizations connected to the smuggling ring.
Oh, okay.
Allowing him to trace everything back to
That guy's
Hermes,
costume's weird. It looks like he's
which
just wearing a
also brings us to
tracksuit.
the end of episode 1. So, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this new cut content video.
Yeah, man.
And if you did, then feel free to leave a like or a comment so that you
Link
can
to the
help
original
me
video will be
make
in the description.
Also, don't forget,
Go there, leave a
this will
like.
be a weekly series on Thursdays once I catch up to the anime.
Sick.
But anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this type of anime content, then you already know what to do. So, until next time,
Ciao. Class. There's some interesting stuff changed there. I do like that. And yeah, because the anime, it's little things, isn't it? It's like he just stumbles upon me and you're like, oh, okay. But there's actually a reason why he got separated and things like that. I like that. It's that's cool. And reasons why characters do certain things. I like these cut content videos as boss. And if this is going to be weekly, awesome. So we're going to check them out. Because I'm really enjoying the show. I'm really enjoying the anime. And I really like knowing what's been changed. So thank you guys very much for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe, and leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.